I feel like you wait to make a noise until I say 3, 2, 1.
It's fun for me to make a noise. And
turning off all of my notifications.
No, it's fine.
Hello, everybody. How is your Friday doing? My K is here, of course, with the first super chat. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm. I get off on Monday, baby.
Oh boy. I will be in another country on Monday.
I won't. I'll be here.
I'm a little jealous just because I'm a little sleepy right now.
Hey, you're doing everything.
I did people could see this on my Instagram. I can't tell you what I was doing, but I could tell you I did a 20-hour trip to Toronto where I landed in Toronto yesterday at 3-ish in the afternoon. And then my flight was supposed to be at 12, but it got delayed. But it's a very quick trip and I'm very, very tired.
No, I did. I did that last weekend with Virginia overnight.
Ugh.
But still, that's not I was there a little longer than I was thinking. I was 30 hours flying cross country.
Okay. This guy's doing the heavy lifting tonight, everybody.
That's why I worked out today.
I need to work out so badly. I need to just stretch. When you get
I need to move myself.
When you get plane stiffness though, and there's just nothing. I don't know why I had to do a mummy walk.
There was I don't know when, but there was a period of flights where my knees would just buckle and they would just lock up, and it would be an intense pain for if it was cross country, a 6-hour on the way back, I'd make it the 4 hours fine, and that 4.5 hour mark, my knees would just start killing me, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I'm not tall, I'm 5'7", so it's not I'm scrunched in those seats or anything.
Yeah, well, I always think about that every time I'm in pain from having my ass in a seat for 5 hours. I think about all the people that are probably a lot taller and more uncomfortable than I am.
Oh my god, yeah, I felt bad. My flight to Virginia last weekend, I was going there and there was a guy sitting in my seat and his buddy was in the middle seat. And I paid the upgrade just to sit in an aisle seat because it makes me feel better. I like to sit in the aisle. That's what I do. So I had paid an extra $60 to sit there. So I get there and I'm like, hey, bud, I think you're in my seat. And he's like, oh yeah, but just take the window and it'll be fine. And I was I looked at him and I was like, listen, I would do this in other occasions, but I was I literally upgraded so I can have the aisle seat. I'm so sorry. He's like, you sure? I'm tall. And I'm like, I know.
You don't have to be nice in those situations.
He wasn't really a dick about it. He tried to see if he could push you on it, but I was like, dude, I paid for it. And he's like, yeah, no, I get that. He just got up and went to the window and just crammed himself in.
You're talking to the world's biggest pushover, but I know where to draw the line with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, again, legitimately, if it wasn't a paid for scenario or upgrade, I was like, you know what? Yes, I am shorter. I'll stuff in.
If you pay,
I'm an aisle guy. I'm an aisle guy all the way.
I'm an aisle girl all the way. Not necessarily because I need to stretch my legs in the aisle or anything. Also because I am a pushover and I feel bad about everything. So I would basically suffer and die before I would ask someone to get up to use the restroom. Right. So at least if I'm in the aisle seat, I know I can get there if I need to.
I just I just feel freer just having the aisle seat and I don't have someone breathing on me on both sides and doing. I mean, there's someone right there. It's not like
there's someone everywhere on a flight.
But yeah, it's just a funny thing. I'm like, I don't know.
This is one of my favorite Andrew shirts. It's such a good shirt.
For a terrible movie.
I know. It's such a good shirt.
Awful movie.
It's so comfortable too. It's one of the softer ones I've ever gotten. Nice. I guess the 4 West one he sent me is really nice too. It's a really good shirt quality.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do this, and then we'll give you our rundown for the show. Mike says, "Happy Friday, everyone! I won't be able to watch live tonight, but I'm looking forward to catching this on the replay. As far as the box office is concerned, could this be the biggest Memorial Day weekend of all time? Is that what it's tracking as? The biggest ever? I know Lilo and Stitch is going to be absolutely huge. If my brain was working properly today, I'd be able to recall the number I saw, but I think it was 165. Did I make that up?
I guess if you have Lilo and Mission Impossible at the same time.
And Mission might have been 65, 70. But then again,
is Bloodlines still in there? I know it's not going to
Bloodlines, one of the reports that I read was looking good. Let me just bring up at least one of them so I can give you guys some like legit numbers here. All right, I'm gonna go with the Hollywood Reporter's piece. Yeah, this is what I saw earlier. So blah 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 blah. Lilo and Stitch. I just want to see if these are I think this is the Memorial Day weekend. So this would be the 4-day weekend. Lilo and Stitch is looking at a debut of 170 to 180, which is just pretty significant. Right. And then Mission Impossible is on course for 78. The challenge with Mission is going to be the week 2 drop and beyond. I'm curious to see how that goes. Where is Final Destination?
I mean, again, like that's not going to make that big of a dent next to.
I think that's great counter programming. All three of those movies.
It is it is good counter programming.
4-quadrant family friendly film and an action movie led by Tom Cruise, and then a bloody horror movie. I think
bloody franchise horror movie.
I mean, I really do think that people are in good shape this weekend. I'm truly surprised this doesn't mention anything about Final Destination this weekend. I'm going to zip over to the Deadline article really quickly. Yeah, this is saying for Lilo and Stitch 170 to 184 day. That's big. And then for Final Destination, it says 6 million today, which I'm assuming was yesterday. Wow, 23 million for the 3-day and 26 million for the 4-day. That would be that would only be a 55% drop, which is a pretty good showing for a horror movie in general, but also especially one that opened as big as it did. I was
gonna say that's a lot of horror movies would be happy to have that as their opening. Yeah, like as their opening weekend.
Jeez, they're saying that I think this is the domestic total by Sunday is going to be 96. Yeah. All right. That's big. That's big. Yeah. Isn't it nice seeing well-made movies honored at the box office, like getting the amount of money they deserve? I don't know if we'll get more Final Destination super quickly.
If it makes that much money,
I do think if it makes a lot of money, they are going to prioritize making a new one as quick as they can. But I also think that a lot of the creatives involved in that franchise know that they don't want to make something happen as quick as they can and sacrifice the quality.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say they're gonna churn and burn it, but like we're gonna get one. I think that's pretty much
I'm not complaining. I might complain when I see if I see new filmmakers attached. Depending on who it is or who they are.
I did write in my review that if they do continue to make them, I think it really should stay with the filmmaking duo they have, because they have found two creatives who understand the franchise so well. And
and the writers too.
Yeah, well, the writers too. I mean, like it's the opposite of. Did you see Fear Street?
I didn't. Prom Queen? I should have watched it, but I just didn't have time.
You don't have to.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing.
You don't.
You just say it was cute.
I'll
watch it.
It's gateway horror 100%, but I don't even think it's very good gateway horror. It's a mess. It's really missing the creatives. Again, talk about like having Lee Janiak and then going with who they went with.
I love Lee Janiak.
Yeah, no, like she is a big reason. Like her direction and vision for the Fear Street movies is a big reason why they work. And boy, you can tell that a dude made these. And
I was really upset when she didn't come back, when none of the past cast members were involved.
Nope.
Even though this one does have a good cast.
I was gonna say the cast is fine, but like it also is its own story, so I'm fine with the cast not being there. Like this is a singular Shady Side story that has nothing to do with the rest of them. It's a prom massacre, but
I'm still gonna watch it. So we have 3 things on the agenda tonight. Maybe more if I've forgotten anything. The first thing we're gonna do,
and that's gone.
I didn't break anything.
And that's gone.
I didn't break it. You don't have to get it.
Okay,
it's okay.
Right.
It was just the plastic popcorn tin top. The first thing we're gonna do is try a little of Matthew Lillard's whiskey, which I have been eagerly await. I also can't wait to read this.
That's a cool, like the art on it is so cool.
I'll get into the description of exactly what this is in a second, but after we do this, we are going to continue to sip while we do our non-spoiler Lilo and Stitch review. And then after that, we'll wrap the show by talking some Final Destination Bloodlines spoilers. And then that is it. So.
Yeah.
So this stuff is really cool.
Yeah, there's like so much with this. Like, there's a whole story with it.
I mean, I genuinely think that's why his line of liquor is so impressive, but also like all the products that he's making right now, because it's not just made to like be a successful business. Like everything has passion and intention behind it, or at least that's the read I got when I had him on Collider Forces, and he was telling me a little bit about, you know, how and why he started all of these things and how he's looking to continue it. So it's called Familiar Spirits, and this is the launch of the Macabre Spirits line. And this bottle of whiskey also comes with an original story from Mike Flanagan that I can't wait. I'm actually going to read words on a page because it's Mike Flanagan's words.
Yeah, no, that is very cool.
This didn't come with an audiobook. There was one little bit in this
they give you an audiobook with the
there's
whiskey.
One little bit. Well, I'll read a little of this because it speaks to what I was just saying about the intention behind the product. And this is written from the Find Familiar Spirits team. When we founded Find Familiar Spirits to craft high-end spirits for our favorite fandoms, we began with fantasy and gaming and Quest Ends whiskey. Its breakout success brought us enormous gratification, but even as it grew, a darker voice called to us. So then they started going down this particular path. The bottle nestled in this box represents the first in a series of delightfully dark pairings, an exploration of an exciting spirit with a brand new tale of horror. So here's where it gets into the Mike Flanagan of it all. And, you know, they mentioned that he wrote this and they owe him their eternal thanks. Much like a scary movie, this project has had some unexpected twists and turns. We intended to launch with a tequila.
I was going to say, I thought the tequila,
but even, I had heard him mention that too. But even we veterans of horror proved unable to slay the twin monsters of international bureaucracy and geopolitical tension.
That's fair.
Fortunately, the light of Kismet shone on us in our darkest hour, and our award-winning spirits team was able to find something even more rare, fine, and limited to offer instead. A barreled aged Sodal from Texas. I don't know kinds of whiskey. I'm going to learn. Desert Spoon is a sustainably harvest coven of agave from the, oh boy, should I know that word?
Daisy Lion?
Okay.
I don't know. You're getting into like the real nitty gritty of like where they got the ingredients and stuff like that. And I'm gonna try this whiskey.
I'm very excited. The bottle, like as you just showed everyone, is freaking gorgeous.
Potent. It's got a strong smell.
Did you taste it yet?
No. Cheers. Just get my wafts in. Yeah, it's gonna sting you. Oh, that goes down way smoother than it actually smells.
Yeah.
It's pungent, but like that actually is. I wish I had one ice cube.
I'm sorry.
I'm a rocks guy when I have my whiskey. I'm not gonna lie.
You're lucky I even have these glasses.
Yeah, that is actually true.
I'm a bad adult.
No, this is real. So not having an ice cube with it, it's still really smooth.
This is pretty good. I'm surprised. I am surprised how well I am tolerating it, given the smell scared me a little.
Yeah, like them mentioning agave in there,
good.
like as a sweetener, really comes through because it's not biting me at all. I mean, like it's whiskey, so you're getting the whiskey flavor, but it's not. You know, when you do a shot of bullet bourbon or something, it goes down.
Oh yeah,
it goes down with a little pain with it too. Like this is higher end. This is nicer. This is just stunning. I was gonna get it eventually just for the bottle, but like now that I actually like it, like that's actually gonna be a problem. like now that I actually enjoy this whiskey, like that's gonna be. I don't know what's the price point on it. Did they say?
Nothing says the price. Yeah. I'm sure.
Just curiosity.
Yeah. I'm sure you can go.
Yeah, I'm just
on their website and find more products too. The other thing I need to buy from Matthew Lillard is a new dice tower. He gave me shit for my plastic dice tower on Collider
because it's plastic. Yeah, you need to get one of those like custom wood ones.
Well, I got
one of those like really.
So this one's brand new and it's a little more sturdy. Some of you have seen this. I finally bought a Collider Forces version of the Ladies' Night one, so it actually says Collider Forces. I should have done this long ago, but you know, I gotta wait until I got the resources to do that. And there it is.
It's gonna be a problem.
What?
It's whiskey.
Do you like it?
I do. I really like it. Because like also too, like the celebrity brands are they're so hard to figure out sometimes. Like you're going to get it because you want to support your celebrity friend or in that way or whatever. And they're not always good. So the fact that this is actually good and like it just doubles down everything. Like the only other whiskey I've really liked that is name brand, it's such a weird one, and I didn't expect it to be good, but it's Metallica's Whiskey Blackened.
Oh.
Me and my buddy got it because like it was like $50 a bottle. It was just a little more than what the bottles we usually get. So we're like, we're gonna just sip on it. Like we're gonna watch movies and stuff. So let's have this something a little better. And yeah, that Blackened surprised me.
Did you see the price?
Oh, that's going at 100. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
nice. I mean,
yeah, that's
tastes good, and you get a book with it.
Yeah, that $100 makes sense on that. That's what I was afraid of.
I mean, it's a nice, like it is a nice gift for someone who is like a passionate fan.
I mean, I'll get a bottle for myself. I'm fine with that. That's a good. I'm a passionate fan of whiskey, so I can give myself a gift.
Oh, I can't wait to read this too.
All right, well that worked.
Yeah.
It's always a bummer when you try something that's like.
Do you want to hear what the story's about?
Go.
A mysterious. Bless you. Bless you. A mysterious business card.
Aroma in my nose.
An eccentric proprietor, a private room with one red door, guarding access to the most expensive wines in the world. A tasting most would kill to attend, but for Frankie Fuller, a bore. He's simply not impressed until the final pour. A bottle so rare, so fine, so limited, not even a professional hedonist of the highest order like Fuller has ever tasted anything like it. A sip into the mind of a serial killer, and he has to have more. From the brilliantly disturbing imagination of horror master Mike Flanagan comes a story of dark desire, dangerous indulgence, and a thirst unlike any other. Rare, fine, and unlimited. The first tale of terror from Macabre Spirits. That's cool.
All right. I like that. That's cool.
And I like how directly it leans into that.
Yeah. All right. Amazing. I'm in on it. I'm in on what they're doing. Let's go.
By the next Merri Hour, I will have read that. I'll bring that with me on my trip. It'll give me something good to do on the plane. All right. Lilo and Stitch. Oh.
Boo.
Middle? I didn't know.
Boo. Middle.
Because I was about to say meh, because it felt like in the middle-ish, but like also meh.
Meh is also...
it teeters.
Meh has teeters negative for me. Meh is like,
negative.
it goes that way.
Generally... Okay, wait. It's probably first to tee up this conversation this way. So... You know how we all have our go-to animated Disney classics? Lilo and Stitch was never mine. And given the girl and her dog vibe, it's a little funny that I didn't latch on to that as strongly as others. But growing up, mine were always Lion King and Aladdin. Those had my heart the most as a kid. And those are the ones that I'm most attached to this day. So I didn't go into Lilo and Stitch with these like sky high expectations. And I also haven't revisited the animated film in quite some time. So that's where my thoughts are coming from. And given that, like I kind of fell right in the middle. And I feel like another thing that impacted my opinion a lot, and admittedly does with all family-friendly movies nowadays, is the fact that I have a niece and nephews, and like my youngest one is too young to be going to the movies, but especially with the two older ones, watching how they react to certain things that they see on screen, and then seeing a movie like Lilo and Stitch and maybe not thinking something is funny to me, but knowing how like happy and giggly that's going to make them. Yeah. It's hard not to fall for that kind of stuff, knowing that it's really going to have the intended effect on them. But it felt kind of thin to me. I thought by the end there was going to be a little more of an emotional wallop. Again, given the fact that it is a girl and her dog kind of vibe, the connection with the sisters, which was probably my favorite part of the movie. I really did love the two of them together, but I don't know. I thought I was going to be more emotional by the end, and I was left feeling like that was a fine ride. But, maybe fine's my word. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I like Lilo and Stitch, the original. I did rewatch it the night before we went to see the remake. So, like, I went into this movie having just seen Lilo and Stitch and being very familiar with why I like it and why I'm a Stitch fan specifically, a little Chaos Demon, of course. But also the ideas of Ohana and family and all that stuff. It's really strong in the original one. And the remake is longer. It has less substance. It has more Stitch mayhem, but that's not really what the movie is that's not what the original's about. Like, yes, that's there, don't get me wrong, we're there to laugh at Stitch and be part of that, but like the whole ugly duckling story beat in the original one where like he's looking at the book and he takes it in the woods and he's just like wandering around lost and like he says lost and stuff like that, those moments aren't in the remake. And what they do is they replace it with wacky hijinks, and I don't think it has anywhere near the heart the original does. I don't think it has all the let me say it this way, all the changes it makes just dilute the story and dilutes the ohana-ness of it all, and the third act specifically just tanks for me. Like, all those changes are terrible, and just it's a movie about family, and yet Nani has to be convinced to go back and save Stitch. Like, that's not anything about what the original's about. So that. I feel like this took all the wrong lessons from why Lilo and Stitch got popular. And I understand it. You're selling Stitch, like you're selling the alien itself. That's what this movie is meant to do, where a whole new generation gets to buy all their Stitch products and stuff like that. But the movie itself is a shell of what the other one is. And let me get this out there too. Like, it looks bad at some points. Like the VFX look bad.
What did you think looked bad specifically?
When they're driving in the car and they whip around on the cliffside, like they're clearly on green screens, and the digital is unfinished. Also, all the aliens when they go on Earth look so bad. That whole ending is atrocious.
The ending, admittedly, I struggled with for a multitude of reasons. Two of the big ones.
I was just pointing out
right there.
Visuals.
I thought that generally, I thought Stitch looked really good in the live action environment. I believe Stitch. I believed Stitch was there. The only times I noticed the seams is when, a character's hand had to be like going through his hair, and that's where you could see that, maybe the detail and the minutia that you need in a design like that in order to sell it, that's where it was lacking for me.
It felt rushed. It felt rushed in a way that like unfinished VFX seemed to get there. Like, everything that had to be there was there. It just felt unfinished. It felt like it wasn't the final product, and it wasn't what, like, we're talking about a director who did Marcel the Shell and is so strong in its visuals. Dean Fleischer-Camp, like strong visuals, but also telling a really deep emotional story with an quote unquote animated character. And like, I would never have been able to put him together as the director of this Lilo and Stitch. It's so mass produced. It's so Disney like nothing about it like feels like it has the emotional core.
I'm trying to separate my interviews from the review, but well, you have to, but this one point I think could speak to certain quality issues maybe. And admittedly, when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, I didn't really see that. And then I'm like, oh, the more I thought about it, during my interview with Zach Galifianakis, he had mentioned that they weren't able to improv because of the writer's strike. I just wonder if,
I mean, maybe, but also like
trying to shoot in that scenario and not having the leniency to adjust on the spot could have hurt the overall product.
But I think specifically Lilo and Stitch benefited so much for being a cartoon and being hand drawn, because it is this fantastical Disney movie. It's this crazy scenario, and turning that live action loses the magic. Like, it loses some of these embellishments and what they're able to do in drawing, because they just can't pull that off in live action. They're not going to do some of the same stuff. And it grounds a story that never needed to be grounded in a way that I think, once again, is very detrimental. So the stuff with like Pleakely and like Galifianakis and Magnussen, I feel like are sleepwalking through this movie. I got nothing from them.
That was one of the changes that I thought was a smart move in order to take something that works in animation and find a way to make it work in live action. I liked the scanning of the body idea, and I thought the two of them paired well together.
I got nothing from them. Honestly, also, I think this is a huge this is the biggest mistake.
This is the big missing piece here.
Like, the whole point of having I don't know if this is a spoiler, like it's the original movie. We've all seen the first Lilo and Stitch. Like, saying that like Jumba is there at the end of the movie with them. Like, he stays with them because, again, family, all these things. Like, that's the theme of the movie. And then you make him a villain in the remake. It doesn't make sense. None of that makes sense to the Lilo and Stitch. And it just becomes the most boring, predictable take of Lilo and Stitch in that sense. So like, that being one of the changes was like to me like really off-putting. I think Mental Me just said one too. The Cobra Bubble stuff, the separation again, that felt I get it, bring Tia in because you get to let her be in the movie after being the voice of Nani in the original. I love that part of it, but
it didn't really amount to much.
Yeah, it doesn't amount to anything. And Amelia said it too right after the movie that like you introduce all these characters with the neighbors and other people where they already have a family when the movie starts. Like there are people around them helping them. So like again, that's what the first movie's about, finding your family. But this movie starts with family around them. Like they have already found their family and people that want to help them. Listen, the two writers that wrote this, they have no notable credits outside Dear David. And I think that was a mistake. I hope their careers do better things because I think they really botched Lilo and Stitch and they didn't understand the first movie.
Yeah, I can't really argue with a lot of those points.
And Dear David is bad.
So I've never seen it.
It's awful.
I never will.
It's awful.
I never will.
The fact that that's the only real thing of substance that they did before this movie is they must have sold the hell out of it.
Yeah, I second pretty much all the points that you're making right now. I think I do think when it comes to, not that this is going to sound like that much of a positive, but when it comes to like surface level entertainment and charm, there was enough there to keep me at least, you know, somewhat enjoying myself the entire way through. But when a story like this feels like it lacks substance in the end, it leaves you feeling far emptier than it should. I did want to make sure to highlight the two leads and so Maia Kealoha plays Lilo here, and I that's one thing that I thought really worked in the movie's favor is the fact that like they found a young actor who is the appropriate age to play this character, and this is her first time in any movie, let alone a gigantic production like this. And I was pretty charmed by her and her energy, and in particular, her connection to Nani. I think between the two actors, so Maia, and then also Sydney Agudong, who plays her sister. And I liked her take on the material she got. I thought she came at it with like, you know, clear intention and authority, but also like love for her sister. And I found their chemistry wound up being kind of like the spine of the film to me. Like the thing that pulled me through and kept me engaged from start to finish, because more so than anything, perhaps. No, I did care about Stitch. I can't not care about Stitch.
I mean, you have to.
But I think other than that, more so than anything, it was their connection that I was attached to and rooting for.
I think the difference for me is, while I agree, I think the performances are fine overall. I outside of Galifianakis and Magnussen, again, I felt nothing through their stuff. But I think that's a byproduct of just the story itself not having the emotional hook that I wanted, and them trying to be these, you know, the aliens on Earth kind of thing. But like overall for me, the first movie is genuinely emotional, where it is hard not to feel what is going on. And like there were like TikToks of the ending of the original where he asks to go say goodbye to his family and Stitch gives the speech, that like I'm like in bed just like scrolling TikTok before I fall asleep and like getting teary-eyed just like seeing that little clip.
I didn't get teary-eyed.
But this remake, every time I got a little misty, it was a cheap manipulation emotional quality. Like none of it was actually hitting me in the way. They were just reusing the lines that worked without adding any actual emotion to it. So you're playing the hits, but there's nothing under it. Like it's a cover band in a way. You're not getting the actual thing. You're just getting like the fake version of it that never ever to me like hit the way the old one did. So like it was hard where sure, did I get a little choked up at points? Absolutely. But I was getting choked up remembering the original, and honestly, everything this one didn't do. So that was the problem. And you can't escape the comparison in something like this. Like you're doing a live action of the other one. Like, you know, when I talk about horror remakes all the time, it's like, how do you differentiate yourself enough, but keep the original's core intact? And I don't think this, right. So I don't think this one kept the core intact. I think they just duplicated what they could, what worked, tried their own thing that they could fit into a budget that they had, and they're still going to print money on it. So like, so what's the point? Like,
amount of money. Gonna I mean, the more I think about it, the more we talk about it, the more I realize how how empty it is. And
Yeah,
that was the
fucking
first that was the first thing that I said when I walked out of my screening, because my screening was pretty loud. People were having the intended reaction to a lot of beats, and I like was not very vocal about those emotions, like whether it was laughs or getting teary. And when I walked out, I think one of the first things that I said to someone was like, I don't think I felt enough.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because I really was rooting for this one. Like, this one was high on my list of, all right, if any of these live actions work, and I do think some of them do work, but like Lilo and Stitch, please be one of them. So that again, that might have been me walking out going like, just super disappointment, having seen the original so recently, having my love for it, and then having all that happen and being like crushed in a way. It's a negative for me. Like that.
Oh, you're going negative.
Oh no, yeah. I'm 2.5.
2.5.
I tip to the meh.
I was going into this review with a 3 in my mind. Admittedly, the more we talk, the more I'm like, maybe 2.5 is really how I feel deep down. But again, I can't help but think of, and I feel like a movie like this should be able to do everything. So I don't even necessarily think this is the positive that the movie would need in order to improve my score of it. But I just can't help but to watch a movie like this and know how happy it is going to make the youngest moviegoers out there.
That's fine, but it make me happy.
And that,
so that's I understand and I get it, and it's going to work tremendously for some, but my job isn't to write about what it'll do for others.
One of my absolute favorite things when I see a movie like this is when a beat hits and I'm like, oh, Robbie would love that. She'd love that. And there were definitely a lot of those in this, but me as an individual, again, I walked out and the first thing I said to someone was, I don't think I felt enough, which
it's not there. Empty, hollow, shallow.
Yeah.
Yet another Disney live action remake that does exactly what we expected it to do, and that's underwhelmed.
I will say one of my biggest takeaways from the movie is I want to see Sydney headline more films. Like I really do think that she is the real deal. She is a star. She can command the screen even with so much going on around her in this movie. So that was probably one of my biggest takeaways of the bunch.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah. Bummer. So that's our thoughts on Lilo and Stitch.
Boo.
There were a couple other things before we veer towards Final Destination spoilers and say goodbye to anyone who hasn't seen it. But hopefully you have all seen it. I feel like so many of you are horror fans, and the movie did so well. Mm-hmm. So first question here, though, before we do that. Mirror Domain says, Welcome to Derry trailer. Thoughts?
I didn't see it yet.
I did watch it, actually.
What'd you think? This is you.
I watched it in TikTok form, which bothers me. something about.
I mean, listen, no, you're
something about watching a trailer this way instead of this way makes me feel like I'm not getting the full experience.
You didn't go full landscape, you went.
Yeah, I'm like still getting used to that. That's like the most old fart thing I can say is that sometimes it'll turn properly
and sometimes it won't.
Well, because like so many people crop their like crop it where it's got the black like idiots, and I'm just like, why you do that? Why you do that?
You dummy.
But I think I like it. It more than anything, the trailer felt it was atmospheric more than anything. It felt like I was being welcomed back to Derry and being welcomed back to the legend that haunts it, you know?
It's
and
almost like that's the title.
You know what I mean though, dude. And that's as sick as it sounds, that's a world that I like to be in, and I really do appreciate that they're doing a different like a different period piece kind of take on this one too.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you know the visuals looked pretty too. So
I've seen clips. I've seen them.
I'm into what I've seen thus far.
I will be watching it. That's.
And I heard I've heard it's like it's big. Like they poured a lot into that production, so I'm really excited to see what they do with the resources that they got.
Yeah, I mean, the movies. I do like both of them. They're to lesser degrees, but first one tremendous. What are you doing?
It's just permanently up there. Mirror Domain. Look.
Yeah, I'm just.
I mean, I'm sure.
It's just not working at all.
Is this just a StreamYard problem? Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's weird.
Let me see if.
That's weird. Perri's mouse is having problems.
Oh, that was
So why did I get blamed? I didn't do shit. I didn't touch anything. I was sitting right here.
I don't know why I was just cleaning the sensor, but there you go. Oh, I thought you picked one.
Oh, no, not yet. It's not working. You got it.
No, it's connected now. I wanted to see if I turned it on and off, if I could. Ah, yeah, I'm back in action. Okay. There was something else. Oh, I didn't watch the new Jurassic World.
Oh, I saw the river. The shots of the river.
Is it good?
I mean, we're finally getting the river scene with the dino from the book. I mean, if they do what's in the book, but yeah. I'm gonna be there for it.
I'll watch it.
I got to keep my expectations a little tempered because of the last movie and me not liking it. So I'm going to go in excited because it's a Jurassic World movie and I want them to be good. And I've liked 2 of 3 of them. So that's a pretty good ratio.
I like them all to varying degrees, but I like them all. There's something else that I thought I wanted.
Can't get on board with the crickets.
They're locusts, man.
Whatever. I don't know. They're cicadas. They're locusts. Someone.
Yeah.
Whatever. The locusts are big crickets. That's all they are.
No. You can't separate what Biosyn was doing with dinosaurs with how they could wind up impacting the world in a multitude of ways beyond it. It made It made so much sense to me.
Crickets aren't a fucking plague. What do you mean they're the same?
I mean, they're annoying. They could be a plague.
No.
I don't care about this movie.
Oh, this is the other thing. This sucks.
Oh, they canceled.
That made me sad. I saw people that made me sad. I'm a little
blue skying about
I'm like
it.
a little bit.
Bluing.
What are we calling it now?
I don't know. I just call it bluing.
But we're not calling it skeeting.
No, we can't call it skeeting.
Okay.
Stop trying to make skeeting happen.
I'm not. You're the one who taught it to me.
I did.
You taught me everything blue sky. I was very sad to see this. I've quite liked that show, and I don't know, it's one of those shows where I just, not that every show and film doesn't have this particular quality to it, but you just tell the people involved really cared and they wanted to do the story justice, and the craftsmanship on Wheel of Time was some of the most mind-blowing stuff that I've seen on TV recently. Like, they were really doing great work in every single department. And they also had a couple of episodes this last season that were pretty phenomenal. For anyone who's watched it, episode 4 that, I'm trying not to spoil anything for someone who hasn't watched it, but it's like some epic thing that like goes through all different times, and it's pretty incredible how much they're able to convey in a single episode of television story-wise. But then on top of that, you're basically taking every department head's job because of that narrative, and you are multiplying it by like 7, and they did it, and they did it really well. And that's also not an easy episode to edit together. I don't know. I thought they were achieving really big things, and I know that the fan base that they did have was pretty passionate. So I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm not going to say that anything will actually change Prime Video's mind, but there's no doubt in my mind we're going to see a lot of petitions and stuff out there to bring it back or sell it to a different streamer or network, whatever. But, that's what happens when you got a big, expensive fantasy show, though. It, puts a bigger target on its back, unfortunately, and
so
I guess this one just wasn't balancing out.
It's not in my world at all. Like, everyone I follow and everyone I talk to, like, no one ever talks about Wheel of Time. So it's just that funny thing of, it escapes certain groups and certain people latch onto it hardcore. So
yeah, I mean, admittedly, it's like not a go-to type of thing for me, but it was something that I'm really glad I was assigned to cover in season 1 because I found something, that I didn't know if I was going to like, and I wound up really liking it. And it's a shame that it ends, especially because of where the story in season 3 ends. I wanted more. I guess I could read the books, but I also hear they don't perfectly align, so I don't know.
We both did watch the studio.
I didn't watch it all.
You're okay. So you said 8, right?
I'm halfway through the CinemaCon episode. That's when my plane landed today. That show's good.
CinemaCon's 2-parter too. You're almost there, but the studio is probably one of my favorite new shows. It really does the balance of satire, and it's hopeful but also realistic. And I think they found a very good balance of cynicism and brightness. Because don't get me wrong, like, it's a very cynical show, and Seth Rogen has said outwardly, like, these are real stories, and He's like, half the people I know are pissed off that I made this show, and half are laughing their asses off because like this is Hollywood, baby. But oh man, I think they've cast it exceptionally well.
It's pretty cool how many guest stars swoop in and like essentially make fun of themselves or don't necessarily put them that is one thing.
You saw the award show episode, right?
Yes.
Ted Sarandon.
I was
making fun of himself like full chestedly, and like that is amazing.
I really appreciate celebrities willing to do that. It's just
still who he is and killing certain things and whatever, but at least he's laughing about it.
But like even
Zack Snyder doing his little bit, like
I was especially impressed by Ron Howard's role in it and his performance. He was so good.
Nick Stoller being a joke.
I was not ready for Ron Howard getting mad.
Yep. Angry Ron Howard flipping out.
I love the Sarah Polley stuff too. I thought that episode destroyed me. I was the most like physically animated on the plane trying to like watch but not watch that as it happened.
We're gonna get this actually at the awards, right? Like someone's gonna thank Sal Saperstein on camera.
So.
We're gonna get this in reality.
That was what a great twist on that scenario.
Bryan Cranston in the last 2 episodes. So you haven't finished it yet. It's amazing. But also Dave Franco. Dave Franco is having so much fun in those episodes. Oh my god. The way that they were able to laugh at each other and like laugh at the entire industry. Like just everything they're doing is laughing at what they're doing. But then again, I really do like Seth Rogen's arc, playing the studio head and actually giving a shit about the movies. I'm not saying like that is every studio head. I'm not saying that's there, but there is a certain level of adoration still for the art and the love of what they do that like it's nice to see in a show like this because it could have gone super cynical and it could have just been the gross satire and all of that stuff over and over again. But again, I'll go back to it. I think they found a really engaging balance of how to show you that like there are people that still care, but the studio, like the industry itself is just so fucked. Like that is just what it is.
I do really appreciate seeing the two perspectives tackle the same problems together. I think it gives the show a lot more intrigue and complexity. There was another point that what you just said made me.
Catherine O'Hara just literally.
Oh my god! Every time she's on screen, she just runs away with it.
O'Hara, Han too. Every time Baron Holtz is again. Sorry, cast exceptional just across the board.
There were two other things that I was thinking about though. One was when he goes with Rebecca Hall to that doctor gala.
Yep.
There's stuff about that really hits home. I mean, when like you're meeting new people and they can't talk the talk about movies or they don't feel the same way.
We're in our own world. I mean, like that's legitimate.
I wanted to reach through that screen and be like, Matt, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like
no, 100%. Yeah, you're making it worse.
But at the same time, I felt for him. Like it upset me for him, but I don't think he handled it very well. So that was one point. And the other thing I find really interesting in terms of how this show is written is how it'll have characters coming at things from all different perspectives, and it'll show you how they're all still vulnerable to the same types of pressures that push them all down negative paths, even though maybe they started with better intentions. Like why people would be susceptible to caving to behaviors that maybe they have criticized.
That's funny. Yeah.
I found that very interesting.
It is really good. I feel like Jennifer Lawrence had a lot of fun making fun of herself. Like someone, you have to have someone who is in on the joke and has a real sense of humor. Like Rose Byrne.
Aubrey Plaza.
Reconnect with Neighbors once again. You got Stoller there already, Dave Franco, all that stuff. I think bring Rose Byrne back.
Nick Stoller's really good in it
again,
too.
Nick Stoller's very funny.
I enjoy him popping up frequently.
And
I was happy to see Parker Finn.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Parker Finn has his own episode. Like it's so funny. Smiled. Oh my god.
Wink.
Yeah.
Wink.
Anyway, the studio's great.
Someone asked him to make a wink at some point too.
That's that story. All that's
real. I feel like that has to be true.
Yeah.
Or if not directly Parker, like the second Smile hit it big, everybody had like a wink or just some sort of variation on that.
Hello, baby.
Matt Lillard. There you go.
Oh, he would be so
He'd be
fun.
great.
Yeah, he'd be great on that.
He'd be really good.
He
I
like
thought
comes
Anthony
in.
Mackie did a great job too. Like I think that man, I can't even pick my favorite
So
episode
dumb.
thus far because I love them all. I like the one that got the biggest rise out of me thus far is definitely the Sarah Polly Wonder one. I was just so stressed.
It's hard. You haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
but I do think the finale
Okay.
for me is my favorite.
I'm gonna watch that tonight before I pass out for 12 hours.
for reasons that you will find out.
Ooh, okay. I appreciate you not going too far on that.
I ain't saying shit.
All right, 15. Final Destination
easy.
spoilers.
I don't even like. What are we going to talk about? We already talked about a lot of stuff.
Let me. Oh my god, I can barely move that.
Leaving the asterisks in there. Okay.
No, I put an asterisk on the end of every title we ever discuss. Fine.
Final Destination Bloodlines, the new Avengers.
I'm obsessed with this movie, guys. I think about it all the time. I can't stop talking about it.
Okay.
So
we really talked so much about it.
we have. I can't stop though. If anyone here has not seen this great movie, go run out and see it, contribute to that stellar weekend 2 box office and spread the love and just don't spoil it for yourself and come enjoy this conversation at a later time.
I mean, there's not much to spoil. Like we all know it's a Final Destination movie.
I guess.
People gonna die.
I don't know. We don't really get into the specifics of
That's
the
fair.
bloodlines and stuff. Well, I'll just start there. I thought the bloodlines concept was absolutely genius. Like the non-spoiler stuff that we talked about before was, very surface level, saying that it's such a smart concept that one enhances the mythology and the way Death's design works. It adds interesting new layers, but without upending anything that happened in a previous movie. Like one of my favorite things that this movie did was to make sure not to include a single character from a previous Final Destination movie in the Bloodlines map. They are separate. I even asked just to make sure because a couple people that I saw it with were like, are you sure that like no one's in there anywhere? And I was trying to make sense of it. And I do think there's some sort of like Venn diagram type thing where there could be someone and like their Death's design could cross over at just them. But I don't like, you would have to do too many like narrative gymnastics to make much sense of it. So I think it was just so incredibly smart to make the Skyview its own Bloodlines map, Yeah,
100%. I said it prior in the non-spoiler stuff, but I think the Bloodlines idea is the best narrative we have of the Final Destination movies because it just makes it hit harder. It's family members caring about each other versus just other movies where it's people, whether they're coworkers or classmates, something like that. Like they just have to survive, where Bloodlines is literally about like saving your family.
Yeah.
And that does up the stakes. I think specifically though, like the stands out for me are Richard Harmon and Owen Patrick Joyner.
So good.
Like they're going back and forth where Eric thinks he's cheated death and he gets this arrogance about him.
What a smart
fucking
twist.
So good. That is such a good subversion. But also Bobby then being like, he is like the bro character introduced, but he is the softest and the most scared.
I love how he plays
the
that
way
character.
that they play those characters are so well. I think they do the best with the family dynamics.
Yeah,
I think is how I would put it there.
I think
like,
all the family dynamics.
I struggle with some of them.
I will say
I struggle with some of them.
They stand out. They stand out quite a bit.
We talked about this already. You liked more of the family values aspect than I did. I think they stand out where others don't stand out. Like an Anna Lore to me is just playing a caricature and there's not much to do for her but die. So like I still feel like there are those fodder characters where
I wouldn't call her a fodder character. Like I did kind of like the little wrinkle that she adds with Stephanie having been away, so her almost filling the sister role.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she
for Charlie.
Yeah,
I thought that worked really well, and their kind of push pull dynamic was pretty good.
It wasn't enough of it for me, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Like I don't think you could. I mean, that's why I think the Bloodlines concept is also so good. Like, I think everybody like has their purpose and has their presence, and they all do it really well. And like, I will admit, Eric and Bobby, that's a special kind of chemistry. That's a special kind of dynamic. That's an especially powerful amount of heart between two characters. They were very, very good.
No, and I think that is the greatest encapsulation of the Bloodlines stuff itself. I do think the Stephanie stuff, like I don't think she stands out as much as the lead.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think she's a very
I liked her a lot.
very good lead. Just exactly what's needed, but it felt more just baseline Final Destination than it did anything else. The conspiracy stuff was fun for a little while, but got a little like rambly at points for me.
Conspiracy stuff?
Just like her having to be like the mouthpiece of like trying to save everyone and over and
Oh,
over. I think that worked for a while, but
I
like
felt the exact
towards the end, I kind of felt a little out of that gimmick.
Wait, towards the end, but like eventually everybody believes her.
The third act where it's just her mom and brother, I don't know why it doesn't work as well for me.
Okay.
I don't have like it's just it doesn't work as well.
I'm trying to think
it's a lot more fun. So for me, the premonition is fucking perfect, and everything is a little downhill.
The premonition is a brilliantly executed.
I just sussed it out with Monocle talking about it on our podcast, and I do think it's my favorite premonition. I don't think there's a better.
Blame you.
I don't think there's a better one. I know the log truck. I know all these other things are iconic, but the log truck is still a little more simple. Where man, the sky view it's a spectacle piece, and that is fan-fucking-tastic, everything they pull off.
I think I might have brought this up the last time. The way that this set piece is structured, too, puts a lot on Brett Bassinger's shoulders, where she's taking you through the entire thing, whereas most Final Destination opening premonitions, it's like, you know, you start with this character, then you go like everyone gets their moment in the spotlight until you get back to the person having the premonition. So like everyone gets their beat, but she's shouldering the entire thing, and I thought did it very well. Fucking
everyone cheered.
Everyone cheered.
The piano moment when it crushes the kid is the best thing in the movie.
We did the
best in the movie.
When we did the Collider Ladies Night screening, I couldn't sit through the whole thing just because I was dealing with like check-in and running all the stuff behind the scenes. But there were certain moments where I made a point to go in because I wanted to hear the loudest cheer when that piano just like splat. And then I also purposely went back in for the reveal that Eric hadn't died, and for the garbage truck kill through to when he has like the Jerry Fendery moment.
I do. Again, the marketing did such a good job by showing his tattoo parlor fake death, and we all thought that was his death, and like. It's Final Destination. You're showing me something, and we're like, oh no, we already know this guy dies, blah, blah, blah. Perfect execution of marketing there where they actually fooled us. Like, I think it's one of the times where everyone complained about, oh, they show too much. It's like, no, that was perfect. We all thought he was going to die right there, and he doesn't. And it's such a longer arc that he gets.
It was really, it's really smart from the marketing angle, the writing, the screenwriting. But I also think that's another example of why having someone like Richard Harmon in that role is so incredibly vital.
Nails it.
The tone of his performance in that next scene is just, it's so pitch perfect. The
nonchalantness, everything about that.
Yeah. So wait, there was you brought it up. That's exactly. So like now we can go through all of them. Do you want to rank them?
I mean, I can.
We have to take the premonition out of the equation.
When I talk about Final Destination deaths, it's never the premonition. The premonition is its own thing, and then the deaths follow after. Like that's how I talk about Final Destination. I mean. I think I do. I said this. We talked about it briefly when we did our non-spoiler. I do agree the garbage truck is my favorite. And I know it's not the most intricate. I know it's not the most fun. But the practical application of watching her get crushed.
Did you see the video?
I didn't see the video. I heard them describe how they do it.
Follow director Adam Stein on Instagram. He's posting all of these incredible behind-the-scenes videos that show the movie magic behind these kills. And just like the creativity and ingenuity that goes into them, makes me love this franchise and this movie in particular.
Stein and Lepofsky are fantastic VFX people. So when you have people that understand how VFX can enhance practical, that is when you're going to get the best applications of it. And I think that shows here because her death specifically, it's not all practical, but you can't tell it's VFX at a certain point. And like when they do it, it is the perfect combination of, people I know. Practical is always going to win. I always want to see practical, but there is a world where practical plus digital on the back end is the best product. And I think Bloodlines shows that.
You really nailed it.
Yeah. So I think it is the garbage truck because I know everyone else is going to say the MRI.
Yeah, I got to go MRI.
It's the most fun one. But for me and how I felt watching them, it's just brutal. Like watching her head just get crushed and pop open is
Yeah.
insanely brutal, and they don't pull away. You're watching the whole damn
arm.
thing. Yeah, the arm too.
Wait
Yeah.
until you see how they
I will.
shot that.
I'm gonna watch that later.
So
Yeah,
impressed.
absolutely. I want to see that.
I'm gonna be a cliche. I'm gonna go garbage. MRI first. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Then I would go garbage.
So is MRI both Eric and Bobby?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't really separate them.
Yeah.
So MRI, garbage. I really love the backyard barbecue. I thought that was
fun.
I thought that was all like
the dots connecting
that
to
built
it. Yeah.
very, very nicely to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then again, then that would leave me with Darlene.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like
there's the log deaths at the end, or sorry, the train deaths at the end. Like there's the
that
stuff
almost
like that.
Feels like we can't even include that.
It's another
like
premonition.
But it feels like it's too much of a thing that's meant to be like a button versus a whole set piece. So I mean, I guess that's the order then. And the only reason I would. I like what they did with the character of Darlene. I don't know how many of these interviews you've been watching, but one of the things that changed big time from I was about to say from script to screen, but I think in one interview that I did, they said that they actually shot this. She initially died at the hospital.
Oh yeah, no, I did.
I think she gets
that one. I did see.
There's a revolving door fake out, but then the L of the hospital falls on her because of what the MRI machine did to the building.
Right.
And then they decided instead to have her make it to the end. I do think that was really important though. I think the three of them had to be together, and in order to like in a sense like close the gap between mom and children, like she had to go there willing to sacrifice herself so they could live on.
There's also Iris's.
Oh, that actually
I like Iris's is a good one. I'm
That's
not going to argue
one.
that. Like it's her sacrificing herself to prove something. Like and it is a gory kill.
I think I might go Iris over Darlene. Mainly because Caitlin Santawana takes the ultimate blood cannon to the face in that.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, she's covered.
It's like the thickest looking, darkest looking red ever. And you could just sit like it going in her eyes and her mouth.
Yeah, I get that. You're right.
That is a good blood cannon shot.
It's so funny because I was talking to Monagle on our podcast. We're like so opposite horror fans. Like he is a story and impact and like emotional connection, and I am like give me the monkey and give me Final Destination, gore, kill, stuff like that. So when we talked about it, I was like, yeah, like my favorite's garbage and my second favorite's MRI, and he's like, my favorite is Iris because of what it means and what it is, and he's like, my second favorite is Darlene because like
it's a good point.
It is like, I'll protect you, I will get you as far as we can, and then immediately dies. It's that thing of like, I've got you, no I don't because I'm dead like instantly, and like that's the kind of stuff that like it's so funny, just like the different way people view horror and approach that. And like we were just so opposite on everything we talked about.
But I actually think it's exciting to highlight that because it shows that Final Destination Bloodlines is a movie that could Final Destination movie is for everyone. Final Destination Bloodlines is a movie that could be for every type of horror fan.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. We had the same exact score and we couldn't be different as horror fans.
I like that. That's a really exciting way to review a movie together. I'm curious your take on this. One of the other things that they told me, because I asked them if there was ever a draft of the script where Stephanie and Charlie survive. And I do think this story idea is incredibly interesting. I also do think that their reason for cutting it is spot on. They said that there was a draft where Stephanie went into the cabin so Charlie could live his life.
That's cute. I kind of like that to like.
It's got like
the cycle of the bloodline. Like to keep that to go back and do it. I don't hate that.
It is a meaty way to end the story, but also think of the energy you walked out of that theater with. Like when those logs fly and it cuts to the end credits and the music, like you're like buzzing. That is a sad ending for Caitlin's character. Yeah. And then on top of that, it does create another wrinkle where Tony Todd's Bloodworth had that beautiful end scene, and then because she's done that, I don't know, like the thought that maybe his end will be prolonged. is not the best thing either, or it takes away from the impact of that scene.
Yeah, I actually think they're both good endings. I had no problem with the way it ended. I think, again, walking out of the theater after all of that happened is just like, Jesus Christ, the thing went for the throat. Like, you'll never escape death. Like, so fuck good. You. It's one of those things. But I do find power in the cabin ending.
I was going to ask you a silly question.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to cut you off. You're going to say something serious about the movie.
No, I'm just saying the power of the cabin ending. I think there's so much to it. Go ahead.
So one of the questions that I was asking at the junket.
Silly.
If you had a premonition, who is the first person that you would run and tell who you would think would actually believe you and be able to help you figure out Death's design?
Who would believe me? That's actually hilarious. Because, like, who would I tell first? That's fine. But, like, who would actually fucking... Well, no, that's not fair. We're all horror fans. Because the first thing we would think of, like, oh, fuck, we're in Final Destination. Like, we would clue into it immediately. All my friends are horror fans. We're the wrong group for this.
I'm trying to... I feel
if
like...
If you came to me, we're like, yo, premonition, don't go on that train. I'd be like, oh, shit, let's not do it.
I do feel like our whole little tribe would believe me. Yeah, but now I'm trying to, like, narrow it down to who would be the most effective in terms of helping me crack the code and surviving.
It's not me, because
I'm first to die. Has a way of thinking things through.
We know that I'm the first to die in any horror movie.
Amelia, I'm calling you if I ever have a premonition.
I
see, exactly. My instincts are spot on.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Amelia too, because I don't trust you for shit.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
Nothing, exactly.
Why don't you trust me?
You'll do nothing.
I would totally do shit if I thought I was in Final Destination. You think I would just, like, roll over and let it happen?
Yeah, you'd crumble under pressure.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Crumble. You'd crumble under Death's design.
I'm hungry.
There's going to be a part 2 to this conversation. All right, let's finish these soupies and then we'll let you go eat. Travis says, I just got back from watching Mission Impossible. Overall, I enjoyed it. The first half was a little slower than I would have liked, but the stunts in second half more than made up for it. Bloodlines was fun. I actually quite agree with Travis's take on the new Mission Impossible movie. The first half of the movie is, like, incredibly dense and lore heavy. Like, it is constantally reminding you of all the ways this movie is connected to the prior ones. And I do think that slows it down considerably. But two big set pieces that are kind of the middle and the end of the movie are just like cinematic feats that you have to see on the big screen in IMAX, truly.
Well, I will unfortunately see it on streaming because I missed it for travel and I saw how long it was.
I do think that those two set pieces are still going to take your breath away.
I believe it.
They're pretty damn impressive.
There for it. I wish I could see it, but I just didn't.
Doug Developer says, I found it very neat that Stephanie and Charlie are clearly of mixed race and it's never brought up. They're all still family. Yeah.
We don't have to say it. Like, it's that thing where you don't have to say it out loud. Like, that's the whole point. Yeah. Good job. Good job,
I'm going to save Caleb for last. Mm-hmm. I am looking forward to Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Nobody 2 with Bob
that
Odenkirk.
Nobody 2 trailer. I'm really in on.
Watch it.
Oh, it's the whole thing of just like, I'm on vacation, but also I'm not on vacation, and he just starts kicking ass. So like, I'm there. I'm a sucker for it. I like the first one. I think they found a fun way to do the second one.
I like the first one. Is Elia back to direct?
That's a good question. No, isn't it Tajanto, right? It's Timo, I think.
Oh.
I thought it was.
I was about to be sad, but
hold on. Let me confirm. Yeah, Timo.
That is a shift.
Timo got which I fucking love because Timo can do action. If you Timo's a horror. Yeah, absolutely. His horror movies are actually very comedic leaning. And he actually, like, he did Headshot and a few other other action movies, so Timo's a really good choice for this one.
I'm into that. Caleb's here. What football news do you have for me?
George Pickens to the Cowboys with CD Lamb. I don't think we've talked about that here, and I think that's really interesting because George Pickens is a very good wide receiver with very big problems off the field. And I wonder how that's going to work in Dallas because basically Mike Tomlin he's a no bullshit coach, but he can work with hard to deal with people. Yeah. And Mike Tomlin was like, we're trading George Pickens. So he's going to Dallas now, and you're in Jerry world. You don't really have a lot of leeway there if you're going to mess around. So I wonder how he's going to work with CeeDee Lamb because they can be very dangerous together. That could be that could be a 1-2 punch in wide receiver that does a lot of damage.
Interesting.
Very excited. People are saying the Texans had one of the best drafts under the radar kind of drafts where we didn't pick in the first round, but we bolstered our wide receiver core tremendously. And we also got, I think, a defensive lineman who's like a lot of people's favorite pick. So I am excited for personal reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's a lot of good things. Aaron Rodgers still doesn't have a job, so we can all be happy. It's great. It's great football stuff.
I can't believe we're getting closer.
I still don't know what the Steelers are going to do about their quarterback room. So,
ooh,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Texans are September 7th here.
Oh, it was during 10.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm gonna be doing that. We have both. We have Chargers and Rams.
Just promise me we'll go again if I'm gone.
We've got Lions and Texans.
Oh, we have Lions and Texans this year here.
When do the Lions play?
I can't remember.
We'll get a game in, but
Okay.
I'm absolutely going week 1
I
to a
figured.
Texans game. Yeah.
I figured. I'm jealous.
I'm
I'll be watching
stoked.
movies.
Oh, that's right. I wait, hold on. I just want to make sure that is actually true.
No, you have the Rams. We have the Chargers, or vice versa.
Yeah, no, sorry. That is correct. No, the Colts owner died, which is sad.
Oh,
Just a few
yeah,
days
I
ago.
was reading that.
Jim Irsay. Yeah, that was a sad one.
Well, on that note,
Football.
I'm going.
Football.
Foosball. Would you like to plug some things?
Sure, I'll plug myself. At Donatobomb, DONATOBOMB, and that's going to be Blue Sky. It's going to be Letterboxd and Instagram. That's where I'm the most prominent and where I post. And also follow my podcast, Certified Forgotten. It is a horror-focused podcast where we talk about movies with 10 or less critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you want a podcast where people talk about movies you probably haven't heard of, that's us. We do terrible organic traffic search, but we have great conversations.
Thanks for all that background info.
Inside baseball.
I will tease what's going on in Ladies' Night and Forces Land.
Forces Land.
Last week was all the Final Destination stuff. Midweek, we actually posted the entire Final Destination Bloodlines Collider Ladies Night post-screening Q&A. So if you weren't there in person, now you could watch the whole thing. And the 5 of them were just so good together. We had the 4 female leads of the movie, but also longtime Final Destination producer Sheila Hanahan Taylor, who was able to speak to the growth of the franchise too, and give a lot of really.
She was
great,
at our screening too. And
she gives such great behind the scenes insight. So that's up. And then tomorrow we're unleashing a new Forces with a super cool guest that I was so excited to finally have a long form conversation with. It is another Ghosts episode. It's with Utkar Shambudkar, and I admire him as an actor for so many reasons, but I also know he's an incredible musician. And you've never been in that studio, but they in the studio that I record my Ladies' Night and Forces interviews in, they also do some music recording. So they have some guitars hanging in the sound booth.
Did you just pick one up and
Dude picked one up and held it almost the entire interview, and just on the spot would improvise music.
That's
and
cool. That's awesome.
It was, as someone who was always a very passionate musician, but was only ever good at reading sheet music and kind of hit a wall when it came to improvising, seeing someone be able to do it so well like he does, I was marveling at it the entire time. So that'll go live tomorrow morning, and then I'll announce even more next week because we have a lot in the can. With that, have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Whiskey.
Go check out Macabre Spirits.
It is good.
FindFamiliarSpirits.com.
We're not lying about that. I would tell you if it's bad. It's good whiskey.
Drink responsibly. Enjoy. And we will see you next weekend with a new Merri Hour.
Okay, bye.